So sometimes people are underestimating the way that people can be robbed. Sometimes when somebody just wow, we're going to talk about being robbed. That's not just any kind of a bird. I don't have my glasses on, but that's a vulture. but 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 what it is a vulture will be the one to pick the stuff off of an animal that's dead, that has died. I mean, it's just I mean, once again, I mean, I was going to talk about how Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That sometimes Satan and the agents of Satan like to do is steal the joy out of people. Not only joy, but basically sometimes it's not like just going up to somebody and going, I'm gonna rob you. Hand over your wallet and your whatever. That sometimes the stealing and the destroying comes at something at a level dealing with something that can never be bought in some kind of a store. I just like the phrase slain in the spirit. The word slain or slay means to kill. Copeland knows what he's doing. He's one of the most wicked, ravenous wolves in the pulpits that I have ever I mean, he's wicked. And some of the ones sitting there and I mean, they're being duped by the what's his name, Jim Baker and Sid Roth and all them. They're being duped. They're being absolutely duped. There's a bunch of them. I mean, I could sit there and go into the stuff. Chances are, if they've been on some sort of national television on a regular basis, they're a wolf. I mean, just look at Copeland's mansion. I mean, it's just like if that's not like narcissism on steroids, I don't know what is. There's a bunch of them. There's one of them with the last name of Clinton, and it's just like, wolf, wolf, wolf. I have to laugh about it. I really do. It's just like, but see, that's also part of the reason why they end up having post office box numbers and all that kind of stuff, is that there's no honesty in them, which deals with the Bible verse, abode not in the truth. That basically, they're not sitting there and disclosing what they're up to. It's just like just like Jim Baker and what's her name ended up having gold fixtures in their bathroom. I mean, talk about workers of iniquity. Oh, I'm sorry. That's something that Jesus was talking about. I really have to laugh about this stuff. But basically, when they chose to do what they did, when they chose to do wickedly, when they chose to act blind when they're not blind, when they chose to act deaf when they're not deaf, when they chose to, basically when they chose to lie, lie, when they chose to deceive, that basically they're no different between between what they do, what they did and do, and between what happened in the Garden of Eden. I mean, think about that. Snake didn't sit there and go, "I'm going to deceive you. I'm going to lead you into the. I'm going to." Basically, I'm not going to indicate my determination and dragging you to the pits of hell with me. I mean, that's what they're into, and that's the reason I'm like, the Bible verse, "Come out of her, my people," is probably one of the most important Bible verses, as well as Jesus basically telling the devil, "Get behind me, Satan." But basically, don't get in my way. Get behind me. And that's another thing that they do, is they tend to sit there and basically use it's a defense mechanism called projection. That's a biggie. That's part of the reason why I ended up reading and studying as much as I have in the area of and taking so many classes in the area of basically mental health. I mean, if I cared about the paper called diploma, I would have the equivalent of several diplomas and PhDs. But I also call PhDs piled higher and deeper. It's just like, I really, when I look at the stuff as far as school goes, it's just like, that's part of the reason why it's just like, the piece of paper that they call a sheepskin diploma, whatever came in, it's like, when I think about it being another Ponzi scheme, it just is like, I don't even want to be reminded of how I got scammed. And that's the reason why, I mean, I might seriously take some of the diplomas that I have and just burn them. That's what I think about them. Here's somebody, I don't know what they're up to, but it's obviously no good. They've circled around about 5 different times. Obviously up to no good. I mean, I just, some of the stuff that they do. I remember one night I was like, they're up to no good, so I ended up going in one direction, and then I circled back, and as soon as they realized that I'd circled back on them, that's when basically the rubber and the tires spun out as they were trying to get away from me. Basically, they were up to no good, and I could sense it. And as soon as they realized that I realized that they were up to no good, I mean, it's just like, woo! the tires on the rubber, I mean, it left marks on the pavement and everything. But once again, who was the one that was actually up to no good? I think I actually have video of that as far as the stuff goes, and it's just like, I don't even bother videotaping them as far as stuff goes. But basically, I have no intention of going in their courts that I know who my judge is. And basically, I would rather have my judge, who is the judge, to be the one passing judgment on me, if that makes sense. And the other thing is my judge knows a lot more than I do by far, and basically knows, is fully aware of the ones that have been doing stuff behind the scenes and stuff, and who have made it their satanic mission to destroy my life, without a doubt. Basically, God already knows who they are. If some of them can't trick me, how in the world do they really think that they're going to be able to trick God? And in fact, I'll take it a step further. They know that the only reason why I ended up going to a certain place one of the last times that I was forced to go there is through physical threat. Through physical threat. And through force. They already know it. I don't need to go and talk to them and, well, you know, the only reason why I was here was because of such and such. They already know it. They already know that the only reason why I ended up going to a certain place was because of, if I didn't, then there would be a likelihood of me being assaulted, battered, kidnapped, held for ransom, or murdered by one of their thugs. And I know it's not funny, but it's just like, they already know it. Oh, there's a beautiful deer. They're so cute. What it is that the deer that are in this area and stuff, they were originally brought over from England, and that's the reason why they tend to be bigger than some of the other deer that are in North America. I mean, they're like sizably bigger. But the way they go through, the deer are sweet. I mean, they really are. It's just like the night they ended up warning me right before the storm hit. I'm not bowing down and worshiping the deer, don't get me wrong about that, but what I'm getting at is I think that that's also a way that God tends to reveal stuff to me.